Daniel. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Chemonics.
Nice to meet you.
Michael, you know them. Jasmine and Lauren, you don't. So nice to meet you. And thanks a lot for joining this workshop. Actually very excited about this one. We've been doing it a few times before, but the first time ever doing it with, hello, Alexander. First time doing it with another partner, with Sanjay and Replo. So this workshop is kind of a combination of both companies and something that we put together that I think that would be really nice and beneficial for Shopify Plus brands. And we will focus, as you know, as like the best funnels for large catalogs. So hopefully you do have a large catalog. Hi, China. And I just want to emphasize, say it in advance, and also from my experience from all the past workshops that we've done, this is not a webinar, okay? I really, really encourage you to talk, to participate. This should be like a more conversation. Sanjay and I will talk a little bit, but mostly it's supposed to be like everybody's talking and really gaining from each other's experience and knowledge. That would be the best way to go, trust me. So it will be fun, much more fun.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we can start with a quick intro. Like, wait, I have some more people that I need to. I don't know why I didn't let them just go in. Oh, it's the fade on follow. Okay. Hey, Alexander and Shayna, you're here? Good?
Yes. Hey, guys. Hey, guys.
All right, just making sure. All right, who wants to go first? Just a quick intro about, the company, about you, what you do.
Sure, I can get started. So I'm Laura. I co-founded Moon Magic Jewelry back in 2016 together with a partner. We sell genuine gemstone jewelry, and we have a huge selection because we offer it in various different gemstones. So therefore, we may have one design in up to 7, 8, 9 different gemstone combinations. So you can imagine we're really looking at a lot of stock, therefore. So yeah, and we're really looking forward to have a tool that helps us organize our collection pages in the best possible way.
Cool.
Yeah. And I'm supporting Laura. I'm the creative director for Moon Magic, joined in 2019, and responsible also for all what's happening on the website in terms of collection, how the collections are set up, product pages, content, etc., bundles creation, which again create a lot of new listings and new products that need to be shown, and yeah. Displayed in the best possible way, thinking about conversions, thinking about add to cart rates, thinking about new arrivals. Yeah, a lot of things that we need to focus on at the same time. And that's why I'm also very, very excited about this call today. I need to admit, I didn't have a lot of time to look into the app. We installed it in a sandbox, and a sandbox store, which doesn't make a lot of sense because there is no sales data that we can actually work on or with. And yeah, so we have some questions for sure, but happy also to listen to you guys and to your experience.
That's cool. So you're the person to talk to about collections.
Yeah, with my team, of course, yeah.
No, okay. Very nice. Yeah, we'll talk about merchandising in general and specifics, regardless of the app.
Cool.
Yeah. So Michael, go ahead.
So I'm Michael. So I'm the head of e-commerce at a fitness equipment company. We're called Northern Fitness. We've been around since just around COVID, around 2019, 2020. So I handle our website strategy, optimization, and I also handle all of our technology. So hence why I'm here today. Currently, we use a different app for collection sorting, and we found that like using different patterns and like different not like shuffling methods, but sorting methods really impacts conversion. And as someone who's mainly focused on CRO, I'm always looking to get new ideas on like how we can help boost the customer experience. So yeah, definitely very interested in both apps because I know Replo, you guys do the landing page optimization, and Chemonix, you guys obviously do the collection sorting. So I think it's a great combination.
Great, thank you. All right, Alexander.
You're muted, buddy.
Mute.
Yeah. Hey guys, how's it going? So I run a CRM landing page agency. I'm partnered with Replo, and I also run for my family our basically our rug brand, our DTC run brand. So my family sells rugs B2B, and this past year I've kind of just after redoing their whole website on Shopify, I started basically a sub brand doing DTC. So I'm testing landing pages, CRO, built a new website, and now we're just like testing a lot with Meta ads, Facebook, TikTok, and constantly testing new landing pages. And just there's a lot, like our collections I think are pretty streamlined, but a big thing and I spoke with Sanjay about this before, like wondering if there's anything we can do, maybe if Chemonix can help as well, like creating we have certain lines with like custom rugs, like any size of rugs, like Ernesto Rugs is doing. And so just coming up with more, maybe like a whole new like custom program and maybe custom collections of just users can buy any size of rug they want up to like, 20 feet or how many that is in meters. But yeah, so that's where we are now. So I do the agency plus running that DTC brand.
Nice. All right, thank you. Shayna, you here? Only a purple screen. All right.
I'll just to round it out. My name's Sanjay, head of growth over at Replo. And the easiest way that I can describe what I do or who I am is that I've done just about every job you can do in e-commerce. So agency, SaaS, running a brand. I'm forklift certified. I've shipped thousands, maybe millions of boxes myself, made products. So every part of the funnel, every part of the business I've done at some point. And what I really enjoy doing now in my role at Replo is studying all the different funnels that work, studying all the different offers that work, and trying to figure out how can we bring, the best of the best and kind of plug it into your business as quickly as possible. So that's what Daniel and I are going to do today. And we're excited to kind of, give just a little bit of like kind of education before we kick it off to the general discussion piece. But yeah, we're excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining.
Awesome. I didn't know you were in an agency, Sanjay.
Yeah, I think I've had 3 agencies at this point throughout my life, at different stages of me being all the way from like not knowing a single thing about e-commerce all the way to, kind of where I'm at now in life, which hopefully is a non-zero amount of knowledge.
That's what we also look for.
All right, cool. So let me share my screen here. I think there are like 2 or 3 more that's supposed to come. So they confirmed, maybe they will join. Hopefully, if not, would be cozy. More time to talk about your problems. All right,
Yeah.
let's share my screen. All right. So just before we get started, a little bit about Chemonix. Chemonix is a profit-driven merchandising platform designed to help mostly Shopify Plus brands we work with to increase sales and optimize inventory by showing the right product at the right place at the right time across your site, but also on marketing channels. We'll talk about that. We offer 3 main products. The first one is collection merchandising, everything to do with collections, from creating, sorting, automating, and A/B testing, and all done through the backend through Shopify Admin. Then we have product recommendations using one-on-one personalization based on real-time sessions of the customers. And merchandising for marketing, whether it's email campaign with integrating with Klaviyo or connecting to ads on, you can do it through the product feed on Meta or Google, or landing pages, which is Sanjay's one of the main things. So, and yeah, and I think that this really connects, probably Sanjay will talk more about the funnel, but really because collection merchandising is one step of the funnel, which is an important step of the funnel, and product recommendations is across the funnel. You can put it in so many places, and merchandising marketing is just marketing is like, it's connected, but maybe not just an exact step, but still connected in this way. All right, but enough about Chemonix. So today, I'll talk now a little bit about profit-driven merchandising. Then Sanjay will talk about funnels and do his thing. And then from there, we can go on to the main part of the open discussion where each one of you can present some kind of a pain point, a strategy that we can together like brainstorm, discuss, and hopefully come up with a nice solution. And Shayna is gone. That's it. No purple for Kobe, Sanjay. All right, profit-driven merchandising. So let me start by saying, first of all, sales alone are not enough. Okay, there are many crucial KPIs that you need to take into consideration when merchandising your store. And I see so many brands that they are focused mostly or only on sales and conversion. And also tech companies, solution, merchandising, we'll talk about that. And they're not taking into consideration the inventory turnover, the COGS, the gross margin, and they're not putting emphasis on the bottom line, on their net profit, which is the most important thing in your business. And let me describe to you what happens in most cases, okay? In most cases, you have like a classic Pareto. Most brands have like a classic Pareto of like 20% of the products, best sellers, are generating around 80% of the revenue, right? Is that the same like for you?
Yeah.
In a rough ballpark?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So what these brands, a lot of brands are doing, they are pushing the best sellers on marketing channels or in their store manually or using merchandising or personalization tools or whatever it is, but this is what they're doing. And then what happens is bestsellers, and they push them so they run out of stock, right? So they restock them and then they sell them again. And that creates like a vicious cycle within the store of keep selling the same 20% over and over and over and over again. And what happens due to that, is dead stock, right? Because the other 80% are laying in the warehouse and carrying a lot of additional costs. It could be up to 50% on top of the cost of the product, blocking the cash flow, preventing the brand from purchasing more inventory. And in the end, waiting for like Black Friday or a big sale or something to sell them for a small or zero margin, or sometimes not selling them at all in many cases. And the result of that, on average, from what we see, that brands are losing around 20% of their profits due to that. That is huge. All right, this is very high level. I wanna like drill down now and together look at 3 products, right? And understand together how we choose which one we want to promote based on our business goals.
Mhm.
Product A, product B, and product C. And if we're looking at sales quantity, which many brands just do that, or using the Shopify bestsellers, and then just looking at the quantity, we would probably go with product A, right? Easy. And then, by the way, if you have any questions, you want to stop me or something, go ahead, feel free.
Mhm.
Just, like I said, we're here to discuss. Then if we look at revenue, some brands look at revenue, so it's good. And if we look at that, there's a different picture here because product B has the most revenue, a little bit behind is product C, and product A has the least one. So here we would go with product B, right? But then we look at conversion rate. Not many brands are looking at conversion rate. And this is crucial because you're paying so much money to get the traffic into your site. So the way that you are converting that traffic, that's the ROI, right? That's how you make money. And if you're not looking at that, that's problematic because sometimes bestsellers are only bestsellers in terms of sales because you're pushing them on marketing channels. That's it. They're not best performers.
Mm.
So in this case, product C has the best conversion rate and only a little bit far behind in terms of revenue. So I would go with product C. But then we look at inventory. Product A has like only 8 units. Product C has 26, which is okay, but product B has the most, a decent conversion rate and the highest revenue. Let's go with product B, right?
Mhm.
Then we look at margins, and this, we are thinking this seals the deal, right? Product B has the best margin, a lot of inventory, decent conversion rate, highest revenue. That's it. It's a done deal. But then, let's say we're a fashion brand, for example. Just one example. How many sizes are in stock? Like, how many of the main sizes or sizes in general are in stock? Because even if it's all the numbers are right, but you don't have enough variants in stock, the chances of converting are much lower. So if we look at that, like product B has only 50% of variants in stock, and the chances from selling from this point on are much lower. So product C has a nice revenue, highest conversion rate, inventory, good margin, and the best chances of converting in terms of variants in stock. So as you see, every time you add another parameter to the mix, you see that it's a pretty complex picture to decide which products you really want to promote. And you must take all the important ones for you. It's not like a thumb rule, but for your brand and your type of product. So just to summarize, AI merchandising, you need to use it in the right way to use all these parameters and combine them together to help you not only to drive more sales, but also to optimize the inventory, maximize margins, and in the end, like we said, just taking care of your profitability as a business. That's it, I'm done.
That came abrupt. So much.
All right, I think that now we can over to Sanjay, and then from there we can go. Like, I don't think that I need to look at the forms. I don't know how many filled it out, but if you feel comfortable with, you know, in your head what's like the pain point, something that you want to talk about, that's good. We don't need a break or something like that.
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before I get started, I'll tell you a fun story. So I used to run a company called Buff City Soap, and the most dumb guy merchandising thing I ever did was we had physical locations. We had about 120 stores, and we had the e-commerce division, which I ran. And there was one particular scent that was about to get cut because it wasn't performing well in store. And I was like, oh man, how do I keep this? Because it was my favorite bar of soap. So I made it the best-selling soap just below the hero section on the homepage to talk to you about like how much you can manipulate this without a ton of like really hardcore business justification. And so that soap survived for another year and a half, I think, actually well beyond after me being there. Had no business doing it. It was purely just a vanity thing for me. I wanted to keep that soap around. So it's good to kind of like, I guess if I'm trying to say anything, it's like sometimes it's important to have all these other things kind of layered in here. But my presentation will be quick. I'm not going to bore you too much. It's like what it's like the best possible funnel for you to run. So you're getting all this traffic to your site. Like, how do you make sure that you're converting it? How do you kind of influence the conversion rate that Daniel was showing? And there's like one particular funnel that continues to crush. I'm going to show you, I promise this, I'm going to show you what the funnel is. I'm going to show you really quickly how you can install this. We can skip this and kind of go here. So the number one funnel, and I've looked at just about every single Replo site, kind of aggregated all the data, try to figure out exactly what's working. And it is the listicle to the collection page. It's been crushing regardless of vertical, regardless of company size. But the ones that I see use this the most to the largest success are the folks with large catalogs. And this is like looking at about $2 million worth of sales data running through our platform since Black Friday of 2024. So not terribly far from now. So it's like a pretty specific data set. Why listicles work? Listicles are a great pre-sale page. It gets people primed to buy, and it's easy to digest. It's your classic 3, 5, 10, whatever many reasons why someone should interact with your product. Now, the way that you tune this to kind of tie into what Daniel was talking about and from the merchandising perspective is once you do the analysis on figuring out, okay, like I need to be promoting these types of products, this collection of products, or these types of offers, you can then build the listicles to match that offer set or that collection. And as the tighter that you can make that that messaging match, both from like your ads, wherever your traffic sources, ads, emails, etc., all the way through to the landing page, the listicle, and then all the supporting information. The more that message matches, every piece of it, the higher the conversion rate is going to be, and that's how you really influence your conversion rate and start to generate more sales from the traffic that you're already getting. What happens after someone consumes this content? We send them to a collection page. And this is really where like the magic of Chmonics kind of comes in. This is not something that we do a ton of. So we don't have the ability to take over. And when I say we, I mean Replo. We don't have the ability to take over collection pages wholly. But there are some things that you can kind of like create kind of faux collection pages. I'll show you an example in just a second. And then you can use tools like Chmonics to like do better merchandising. But the goal here is like you want to give people the ability to find the right product at the right time that makes sense for them, surface the best offers for them, and obviously as Daniel talked about, like making sure that all of the metrics, all of the other like underlying business cases that you have to make and justify are factored into that. But this is the best like 1, 2, 3 like traffic source to listicle to collection page, then send them out to a product page or to check out whatever the offer necessitates essentially. So I can keep like showing you this. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to show you a really quick example that I built in about 15 minutes this morning. So this is actually really quickly, this is actually a Moon Magic page that I believe Alex that you built, if I'm not mistaken. So this is like a collection page. Cool, lovely, awesome. What about the listicle page? What about the page that comes before this? We have a template. This is really basic design. Obviously, it's not like super pretty or anything, but being able to spin something really quickly and having this is 5 reasons why, boom, like this, you can start testing this really, really quickly, get the messaging right. Then you can go back in and tweak all of the little content pieces to continue to improve the conversion rate here. But this is the stuff. This is like the incremental, the nth level optimizations that brands of this size really ought to be doing. And this is like my first recommendation every single time is like, hey, what do I do? How do I get more out of the dollars that I'm spending for growth? How do I get more out of the traffic that I'm getting? It's like, hey, let's bolt in this listicle into your entire funnel. Make sure that the collection page that you're going to is optimized. We're adding things like trust ratings. We're adding things, there's 6 key elements of landing page. Social proof is a really big one of them, and that's star ratings, that's testimonials, making sure that's really easy for people to consume and shop. All of these sorts of things kind of stack together, and then once you have that, you just do all the little tiny tweaks, and you'll find one funnel that starts to rip, and then you can kind of scale that and try to figure out if you can replicate that across all the different offers, different collections that you want to test and prioritize. So that's my bit. That's my song and dance here. We can go back to talking about what's pressing on your end, or if you have any questions specifically to what I just showed you, I'm happy to answer that as well.
Alrighty. Well, I guess our biggest challenge is we link the majority of our traffic to one shop all collection page. And as you literally described, the usual logic was to list all these products based on revenue, which tends to be, also like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because you keep on showing the exact same products. So Yasmin and I, we have a retail background. So having actually worked in retail stores, we know a little bit about online or visual merchandising, I guess. So
Yep.
From our merchandising point of view, we would kind of put like products in between next to it, that are not necessarily best performers, but that really could be perceived as, okay, building a look, or being like a really nice byproduct. So now our question is, I guess, how do we establish basically, a ranking? How do we make sure we still show enough bestsellers and also show byproducts that may just be like literally like a background dancer, I guess, but they are important for the whole shopping experience. So that's one big challenge. And then the other big challenge is we launched a lot of new products, especially now in this time, because we're getting ready, obviously, for Black Friday and end of the year. So now is the time to test products.
how do we establish which positions in these super important collection pages can be taken up by new arrivals that are not proven, right? I mean, they are literally there in order to be tested. But how do we make sure we give them enough visibility? And how do we decide, okay, that's enough, you had your time to shine, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't, and then we basically pull them. I guess these are two of our biggest pain points.
Also,
I
like
wanna-
rotating those products for sure, because we don't only offer one product only. Sometimes we offer, we launch 5 products, sometimes 2, sometimes 10. How do we actually guarantee that each product has enough spotlight to perform and to get the data out of it to then take the decision, do we purchase, how much do we purchase, etc., etc.
Dan, you want to kick us off? I think these are 2 really strong merchandising questions that I'd love to get your opinion on before I talk about the visual part of it. I think you're muted.
Give me, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, someone came to clean here, so I didn't want them to make any noise in the office. Yeah, I know. I thought you wanted to say something, Sanjay, before. I can get started. Yeah.
No, I'll let you go first. I'm gonna take some notes. I've got some stuff I'm cooking.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to understand. You said in the first question, you said that you want to put like the bestsellers, the best performers, but also products that. What do you mean by products exactly? Like products that are like.
Not bestsellers, but they would essentially like support. So it's like if you're building a look.
All stackable products, products that also show different price ranges,
Okay.
different styles that you can mix and match, gemstones, etc. Like we obviously offer a huge range of gemstones to, support each other basically.
So, like, we're talking about. Let me just put it here. This collection, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that is a big challenge, what you're talking about, because if you're just creating a ranking based on data, that's not achievable. And only manually you can do that by placing, okay, I want now to put 3 here, 3 of these, like 3 bestsellers, and then 3 of that type and 3 of that type.
Yeah.
So this is why we've created in the app. I'm not here to talk about the app, but just to give you an understanding of how we do it, is that when you create a collection using the app, you can create segments within a collection. So that means that you can create multiple collections, sub-collections within a collections to control the setup. So what you can do is say, okay, the first 3 products, for example, would be the bestsellers. So you can put like, I don't know, products that have amount of sales or whatever the definition is, because you can put the rules of which products will be populated within that segment, and then sort it based on revenue, conversion rate, margins, whatever you want. And then the next row, the 3 products, it could be 4, 2, whatever you want, but could be those byproducts by a different definition, right? And that will be sorted maybe, I don't know, maybe not by sales, maybe by something else. And you can create an automated structure of, let's say, 3 bestsellers, 3 byproducts, 3 bestsellers, 3 byproducts.
Mm-hmm.
And one will have its own sorting strategy. And this way you can create that combination in the display of the products. Think about here, you have like 3 bestsellers, and then these would be the byproducts. And this would be, so you can do it like 3, 3, 3. You can do it if you want a different structure. You can really control how you want it to look. And then let the data and automation do all the work, and it populates, all the time based on the data.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, sorry.
But is that a best practice, I wonder? Because, or what would you basically suggest? Because again, maybe also from our feminine point of view, in our mind, that makes perfect sense, right?
I can never say there's no thumb rule. There's always A/B testing, always. So you come up with this idea, okay, this is what I want to do. Now let's test it. Let's see how it's versus doing everything just by performance. Let's do this segments. So it's really up to really optimizing this for this specific question with the byproduct. I don't have not like something that hundreds of brands or thousands of brands are doing every day with the exact case. And even if it was, it's still specific to your brand. Like I would definitely test it and see different setups and how they perform. And I would use, we don't like need to see this anymore. And exactly the same structure for like exposing new arrivals and give them a chance to sell is huge. That's a very, very important part, because if you don't, those products afterwards, they fall between the chairs, because they don't get enough exposure. All right. And probably Sanjay, across the funnel, you can do that in different ways, but expose them. But then if they are good products, they're just not getting the exposure. So you do need to get them a chance to sell. Yeah, sorry, Jess.
No, we are aware that we have to display it in a best way. The challenge is that only that it takes a lot of manual work, and we are wondering if we can find a solution where it automates, where it rotates, where through this application, it makes our life easier in rotating or identifying, maybe also already through the app. I don't know if it's possible that it sees, oh, this product has a high click rate. This product is actually great when it comes to add to cart. So we identify kind of high potentials through that
Definitely
application, actually. And this is only one part of the challenge pyramid that we are facing. But yeah, we are aware we have to, but do you have a solution how to automate?
So using the segments, you can do exactly the same. So let's say you want at the top of the page, you want best bestsellers, or you can start with that. But I would definitely create specific spots within a collection page that will show automatically products that we need to test. And you can do it by new arrivals or by the page views. Okay, a combination. Let's say a product that has been published in the last 60 days and has under 200 page views, for example. So it did not meet, we need to understand, you can use also statistic, the average of the store, stuff like that, but we need to understand what is the threshold. And then below that, that means that it did not get a chance to sell properly, all right? And then it will keep up, and once they go over the threshold, then it will be removed. And then based on the other metrics, it will be sorted within the collection. If it's a high add to cart, high conversion rate sales, whatever it is. But then you can do it like 3 slots, 4 slots, 6 slots, whatever you want, sprinkle it across the collection. And then make sure that those products are visual, like people can see them in the first page, because around 75% of the clicks are done on the first 10, 20 products sometimes in certain brands. So this is huge to be able to expose at least a few of those exactly to do that, whether there's new arrivals or trending products from the last, 7 days to see what's picking up.
Yeah.
So you can do the entire collection, all the segments based on last 30 days, and then one segment would be based on the last 7 days or 3 days. And then you can then you can see which are the trending ones. So you can have best performers, new arrivals, trending products, whatever you want, and then you can create that structure and making sure that everything is there, and obviously everything is automated.
Yeah, okay. And that means you're then working with labels or tags to kind of identify, no.
Tags, meta fields, whatever you need.
Okay.
The tactical beauty here is that what you can do, like I know you have a Replo page, because I've seen your Replo account before, but it's like you can take your Replo page, you can drop in the Chrononics budget onto that page, and so you have there's merchandising support content, like the reviews and all this other visual stuff, but then you also have Daniel's tool doing all of the recommendation for it, pulling all of the possible data that you could, all the different metrics. So it's kind of ordering it for you. So I think that's the tactical kind of beauty here of combining our tools.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay. They talked about collections, but this is everything that I said applies also to product recommendations, where you can put it in Replo's any page that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a product recommendation in one of the pages that you create in Replo, and create that structure as well in a carousel. That's it.
So I've got a couple notes for y'all. Feel free to interrupt me at any point in time. But I'll just kind of start ripping. So the old way of testing a lot of this stuff was, as you described, the very manual process of merchandising. One of the benefits that you both have relative to a lot of the people that I talk to is that you have an experience like merchandising in a physical retail space. That has actually, for whatever reason, people who have never done that in a physical space, like it's actually really hard to kind of explain. So I don't have to explain that to you, which is nice. But you can do it in a manual way. And I actually do recommend, if you have the budget to allocate, I do recommend actually carving out some budget where you know kind of intuitively because of your experience, hey, if I put this bestseller next to this other new upcoming product or kind of a support product, see what that performance is on that collection page. Test it, like actually drive dedicated ad spend or dedicated email traffic to that specific type of page without having the kind of the automated filters running. And you can test them side by side as well. So you can have traffic split to the page with the automatic filtering, and then your specific like manual merchandising to see the performance. And it's essentially like you're gut checking your own intuition, which is, I think, something that as automated as things get, like it's always good to have that human touch. You've seen it, you know what it's like. You've been inside of a physical space when someone's shopping for jewelry. So I think that's one of the things you should test. Another layer to this, like being able to have as much data as possible that isn't directly like sales or click data. So in your pop-up, for example, right, you have get 25% off, and you've got like, hey, like what's your kind of vibe, what's your energy, like intuition, I think was like the first one. One of the other ways you can do, one of the other things you can do is like, let's say someone's already seen that pop-up, whether they filled it out or not, or maybe it's like all net new traffic. Even if they're already in your database, what you can do is run a different pop-up that says, hey, what's your favorite gemstone? And start segmenting by the gemstone. Or what's your favorite kind of cut? Like, for example, my fiance, she's like hardcore about the princess cut. And like, it's like, that's everything is kind of filtered in that specific thing, even if it's multiple gemstones. Other people might just look at one specific gemstone. So there's like a couple different ways, and you can actually survey new people that come to your site with the pop-up. Like, it's another layer that you can test. And then you can also survey the people that are already in your database, which are probably going to respond much higher. It's like, hey, yes, you have the sales data, but there's also like this, opinion that you can kind of extract that can influence the type of collections that you select. And when you have, I'll show you, I mean, I have this pulled up still. When you have a page that's like, is it this one? Yeah, it's like this, right? So people are able to self-select into the specific type of thing that they're shopping for. You're able to get to these answers faster. Maybe it's not necklaces, earrings, bracelets. Maybe it's you go straight into rings. Maybe that's because when you look at your survey data, people actually want rings more than they want to look at bracelets. And that's what you're going to prioritize in your stack ordering. So being able to go run surveys, I think, is really key. And very often missed, or it's like, it's a bandwidth thing more than anything, but it's an easy win. Like get that extra data. Additionally, before I go on, do you have any questions or anything you want to like dig in there from all the rants that I just dropped?
So how do you connect? So when you say, for example, like you mentioned in our newsletter sign up, we ask, okay, what's the energy you're looking for? And it's self, intuition, and so on. Let's say someone's actually choosing intuition. How do you make sure then? So you're basically saying the collection page will be sorted based on this selection of energy. Is that how it would work?
That's one version, or you could be very direct, like skip the intuition and just say, are you shopping for rings, bracelets, necklaces, or are you shopping for black onyx gemstone for this other, like, and you can, I would actually err on the side of like your first test on the pop-up alone should be go very direct and say, do you want to shop for this type of product, necklace, bracelets, rings, or do you want to shop for a specific gemstone? Ask that question first, see what that response rate looks like.
And then are you saying there would be an interface between, well, I guess that's Klaviyo, because I mean, all this that, because if people are selecting intuition, and then based on this interface, there would be a link to this collection page.
Yep. So after and you can do this in Klaviyo, you can do this in any pop-up app worth their salt. What you'll do is like when they select a certain response, the collection page that you're going to link to after they submit their email is going to be specific to that. So let's say it's necklaces. You click necklaces, hit the email button, fill out your email, hit submit, redirect to your necklaces collection. And then you can use like the Chemonics widget to like do recommendations there. Or if you want to like manually merchandise, you can do that. Or if you want to A/B test it, you can put your A/B testing link in there and into Klaviyo, and then it'll split the traffic for you. And then you can see side by side exactly what's going on. But you can do this in Klaviyo or any pop-up tool that you're using.
Interesting. Okay, cool idea.
Yeah. Okay. So another thing that this is something that you should be able to do in general. I know we were able to do this in Replo. I mean, I don't know how often you do this, but large catalog brands, especially something as visually stunning as what y'all do, like lookbook pages that have some conversion element, like you can click through a page, but like really like, I mean, I'm not sure if you run this. Do you run lookbook pages currently?
No, we don't.
Okay, so that's something that I would, and I know you have the content for it. Like you have an abundance of that really great content for it, but like having lookbook pages, that's really easy to access in the top nav. You might even surface whenever you're testing new products. So how do I know which one's going to get the biggest play, right? So build a lookbook page, announce to your email list, hey, we've got this coming. Maybe they're not able to buy it initially, but a great way to kind of like pre-test this is build a lookbook page that shows in situ, like someone wearing all the different pieces. And then there's like an easy way for them to click through to that page when they go to the product page essentially. But instead of it being a buy now button, which it could be, you could do this after you launch your product as well. But if you're doing it before, you could just have an email capture say, hey, remind me when this is live. And then you can go measure how many people actually filled out relative to your total traffic, how many people filled that out for each of the products. You can see, okay, for this brand new necklace that I'm dropping, there are 100 people that signed up to be notified. But for the ring that's in that same collection, I only got 20, but they got a similar amount of traffic. So then you can start to see kind of the trends, and you can use that maybe on a percentage basis to kind of influence how much you should order on how much you should push. And I think that's probably the easiest way for a business of your type to start testing things. And I would test even before you actually go place like the initial orders. Like when you get like marketing ready samples, that's when you should start running these like lookbook style tests.
Okay, cool, interesting.
All right. Moving on.
I was wondering if Chemonics is also able to kind of identify trending products, or sort of has an analysis, like a trend forecast from what it's bought, from all the sales data, or all the products that have been sold, that we kind of see, okay, this is the design they are looking for, or designs, or gemstones, or whatever, or price point. Is there something
trending products and what they're looking for? It's it's two different things. Like, you mean like trending based on the sales are picking up and it's starting to
that's what I'm
so like I said before, if you're looking at like if you're comparing like in a collection and you're looking mostly, there's no like a report on this, but you can create a collection, and also the collections you can create, they help you with analytics and insights about the products, but that's a different conversation. But you can use like different time periods, like I said before, and then if everything is like last 30 days, but then you have one, like you look at also 7 days at a specific segment, for example, then you're seeing other products that are picking up and has more sales through rate in those days. So it's like a daily sales rate. So there are different ways. This is just one, but really playing with the segments, or depending on the time periods, generally in a collection. But you have a few ways in order to do that using different parameters, whether it's the daily sales rate, whether it's adds to cart, the page views that is picking up, many things that you can use in order to identify those trending products.
okay? Super. Thanks.
And one more question. We were just playing around with the app, and then there was this option to choose like, okay, sorted or AI sorting, I guess it was called.
Yeah.
What is this based on?
AI sorting, what it does, it looks at all the parameters and then it chooses which parameters to use in the sorting strategy and dynamically changes the parameters and their influence in order to drive more profit. So balance between sales, conversion rate, margins, inventory, and really balance between all of those to create like a profit-driven merchandising strategy.
All right, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right, Michael. I'm just going in the order of the
Yeah.
see on the screen, Alexander. Don't get offended. Michael, you there? All right.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was just taking a call. Sorry, could you repeat the question?
No questions, just about like something that you want to bring up to the table in terms of either the funnel, landing pages, merchandising,
Yeah.
something that you want to bring up for us to discuss and hopefully help.
Yeah, 100%. So basically, within our website, we use a lot of like we have a mega menu, so collections is like a really big part for us. And since we're on Shopify, you can also use like carousels to like funnel specifically from collections. So one thing is like I kind of want to figure out a way to show different bestsellers and kind of like customize the customer experience and like that's kind of two things. So first thing would be to customize the customer experience based on like what they're looking at. So like for example, if they're on like our strength category, and they go through like a bunch of our products, and they have like, for example, 5 products that they just looked at, and then they leave our website and then they go on the next day. Is there a way that we can essentially have the collection page sort according to their behavior? Is that was my first question.
Right? Like
Sorry?
dynamically
Exactly.
sorted basically based on what they click on. Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Mhm.
I want to elaborate on that just because we don't do personalization on collection pages, and I want to explain why. We used to do that, but that goes all the way back to the presentation that I had before, because we used to have it, and having too much personalization on your website is very, very risky. All right, we've seen many brands that it creates too much mess in the store, because if you're personalizing too much, what happens is that vicious cycle that I mentioned, because it just prioritize everything that will sell the best because what the customer wants. But you need to balance between what the customer wants and what you as a business need to sell. So what we found with so many brands is that the best way to go is to sort a collection based on the global data, and then combine that and complement it with personalized recommendations across the site. There, in the next session, it can recommend products based on what they did in the 4 previous session and boost those products. And then it connects also to Replo to, across the funnel in each page that you want, put those product recommendations, the personalized one, and push those products that are most relevant for this customer based on this session, past session, and also the one before that.
So Daniel, if I'm hearing you correctly, I think what you're suggesting is that you don't want to do too much personalization, but what you are able to technically say, hey, this person looked at XYZ products. You can sort of recommend those because it's like there's a recency effect there. But then you're also still, with all of the other metrics that you're trying to balance out, you're still recommending like what's best for the business overall, in addition to what's best for the customer. You can kind of do both things. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, because I think personalization is like a big buzz for the last couple of years, and it's not the target. Like people, like many brands think that, I have to have it personal. Customer preferences is another parameter that you need to take into consideration in your site. That's all. It needs to be personalized. And I think that personalization that is even more important is also the content and stuff like that. But in that sense, to over personalize. But yeah, definitely. I think that even within the product recommendations, I would not, maybe you can do fully personalized because you have the collections to complement it. But also there you can have like maybe in a product page 2, 2 products will be balloons. That's nice. Maybe 2 products will be personalized, and then 2 products will be new arrivals, and then 2 bestsellers, and then 2 trending products, and then
Yeah.
you
We
know,
Yeah,
Yes.
we do a similar pattern to that. Like within the app we use, like we do like, for example, like we combine bestsellers with like margin and also like new arrivals, just so like the new arrivals can get some attention. But the reason why I asked about like the personalization is because we're looking at like because we want to be able to personalize in some way, and we use Rebuy as like an upselling app. And one feature they have is it's kind of like a pick up where you left off. Like you can essentially like whatever a customer searches, it goes into this carousel, and that carousel can be anywhere on the collection page or on the product page. And essentially, anytime a customer like looks at anything throughout the website, it gets added to this carousel. And we can also mix it up with like we can also use like their AI to like also provide other recommendations like within that same carousel. So
Yeah.
I was just curious if like there was something similar within your app that you'd recommend, like that we can apply to like the collection page instead of like kind of adding like a widget to the collection page.
Yeah, so the product recommendation you can put on every page. You can put it on a collection page, you can put it on product page, you can put it in any page Sanjay recommends you to put it on. Because, and then there within the element, you can do the recently viewed, you can have the AI personalization to recommend the right products for them, specifically based on what they've been clicking and their user behavior and all in this session and past ones, and whatever other strategy that you want to put. You can definitely combine those, and you can put it on the collection page at the top, at the bottom, product page, cart page, home page. Where else, Sanjay? Where should you put it?
Those are like your offer pages, right? And really, like one thing I want to add is, where is the personalization happening? I think, if you're using Rebuy, you should be able to plug that in. I'm assuming you're on Klaviyo as well.
Yeah.
So you should be pulling that in, right? You should be pulling in, hey, you looked at this. You can pull that data in from Rebuy. You can pull it in from honestly just like the Klaviyo native integration as well. But then you can still guide people, right? I think there's a combination of like, hey, I know what you're looking at, this is what you care about, but also like, hey, you should still kind of control the frame a little bit, or control like where you're moving people through, and you can do that in email. I think that's like the most amount of personalization, or the best place, the easiest place to do it is obviously like the SMS that you send, the email that you send when you're trying to get people back on the site, and then from there, I think it can be a little bit more open form. And as Daniel said, like you're recommending stuff that's good for your business and also like what the customer saw. You can do that in Rebuy as well. What's good for the business and what the customer saw. I think the area of focus, the best area of focus is usually like that email touch point when you're sending it. That's where I would focus my efforts on. And then what do you send? Like, where do you what is that experience like? After they click, do you just send them to the product page? You can start building kind of offer pages that's like, okay, if you're focused on strength, these are the 3 pieces of equipment that you need. Here's like equipment 1, you have all the information you need. Equipment 2, all the information you need. Just buy them all at once. Like send them to a bundle page or something, like, so they can kind of complete that stack without having to go to multiple different product pages or collection pages. Like condense where the information is and frame it around whatever benefit that they're trying to achieve or whatever goal that they have is. Put it all on one page. So that's another kind of like layer of merchandising. Jasmine, what's up?
I would have a question in regards to landing pages or offer pages, because obviously we also work with that. I'm always wondering how many products would you recommend in adding to such offer pages? Because in our case, we have we made the experience that if we put too little products or too less products, it's not converting, because it's sort of like, how would you say, was heißt friss oder stirb? It's like,
Yeah, you don't really have enough of a choice, right?
yes, it's like take this or leave it. If you put too many products, it's like, what do I choose?
Overwhelming.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's overwhelming, so I drop out. So do you have like an estimate on how many products you would add to these specific offer pages?
I think it's related to the type of offer that you're running, but I'd try to aim for like 10 to 15, 10 to 20 probably max. I mean, you have the ability to do so, but then also it's like, what is the type of offer? So in your case, right, you could be, you have an offer. It's like, hey, get like gala ready for some reason, or you have some like, it's Mother's Day, and you want to be like, or date night. It's like a date night offer, right? Be stunning for date night. In order to be stunning for date night, you need a necklace, you need earrings, you need some rings. So the offer could be like get your like date night bundle, right? And then within that, you can have, there's a couple different ways you can merchandise this. Alex will probably tell you all about it. But you can have, okay, like there's a section on that page. It's one offer page. There's a section that's like just the necklaces, and you have 5 to 10 of your like.
That's what we're already working on, like these carousel sort of setup. The question is mainly how many styles per carousel should we add? How to make not overwhelm the customer, to just like say, okay, here's this assortment, it's the selection, but it's not too much. And decide now, because that's what we are aiming for. That they look at it, we create FOMO, and they click and they buy it.
Yeah, probably 6 to 10. I think 6 is easier to just like show on most device types, especially on phones. Probably 6 to 10 of each.
Okay,
that's my gut.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
And test it.
Yeah, exactly. Test it extensively.
Always
test. I will say, one of the great parts about being a marketer is like my dad's a surgeon, and so he has to be pretty precise on what he recommends people to do. And I'm like, oh no, you can just test it. You'll see how it goes. But there's also something very freeing. It's very, very, very truth. Like we do have the ability to go test. It's just a function of how much time and budget we allocate to these things and energy we have to do so. But yeah, it is. I always make this joke with my family. I'm like, yeah, I write prescriptions too, business prescriptions. And my dad like rolls his eyes and he's like, yeah, I actually save lives, bro. Like, anyway, I digress.
Sanjay,
sit in.
It's okay. Your job is important too.
I know. My little brother is the doctor of the family. I'm like the black sheep. Somehow I got into digital marketing. So here we are.
It's okay. It's okay.
But from what I understand, also when it comes to visual merchandising, also when it comes to Keymonix app, there is a lot of setup necessary, like setting the collection page up with, in our case, with a lot of rules and exceptions to make this actually work, right? To actually benefit then from these automations. It's nothing that there is that's what we're looking for.
A magical switch, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to do some stuff that we talked about before, then there is some setup, but usually you do that for the, like you said, most of the traffic goes to the main to the shop all. So you can take the main collections, you drive the most traffic, put some effort into them. But again, you can create safe templates, do it very easily in the end. There is a setup in the beginning, but not a very, very big one. I think once you get the hang of it and you use like templates that I mentioned. So, and for many of the collections, you can use like rules of combining different parameters and not necessarily really put the effort of building that structure and like a unique setup of the collection.
Okay.
So it's really up to, based on your needs. If your needs are very specific, usually it takes a little bit more setup.
Yeah.
Nothing too major.
Yeah. So we do have, like, for example, Zodiac collections. We have birthstone collections. The birthstone changes every month. Obviously, the Zodiac signs also every month. We would need a rotating sort of system for these products. Because you were talking about inventory, that's only partly actually applying to us because we have a made to order system. That means they order, we start prepping, we send out obviously, there are some components like gemstones. If we don't have them, we cannot sell the product. And then that's the moment where we have to take them all out of stock, or put them out of stock. This is a bit of a tricky situation right now because this is happening quite frequently on a daily basis. Gemstone XYZ is back in stock. Gemstone, the other one, ABC, is out of stock. So we are constantly moving stock up, down, up, down.
Simple rules for that, using days in back in stock, inventory levels.
Yeah, well, inventory levels, it's always, in our case, 0.
So no 0. Okay, so 0 is out of stock, but probably this is some way to identify whether it's back in, like you said, back in stock or made to order or whatever it is. There's probably one way or another to identify those products and then create some rules for that. But we need to really dive into the data and look.
Yeah. But this is possible.
And one of the other things too is like if you do have the ability to track if you have a gemstone available or not, like if it's not available and you're still getting traffic to that page, making sure that you are like at the very least capturing like contact information, like, hey, sign up for SMS, sign up for email. And then if you've got it already, that's great. But like if not, that's something that's worth setting up. So that's something you can set up in Replo, but you know, I think there's a bunch of other ways you can do it too. You can use Replo to do it.
Michael,
Alex is smiling because he's done it before a million times. All right, hit us, buddy. What's up? You want to unmute?
Yeah, so I want to bring up because like for a lot of our clients, we do like home pages, collection pages, a lot of our workflows in Replo, even like the Moon Magic pages we did. I wanted to ask with basic integration with Chemonix and Replo, if kind of what Jasmine was saying, let's say if we do like a gemstone collection page, like a lander on that built in Replo, is there any possible like future integration of like, this is like a Chemonix like catalog section we built and it's like a Replo component. And then that can then just like using Chemonix's AI kind of just update based either for personalization, you know, what the person's bought in the past or what they like, or it's like whatever is high stock. If like, hey, okay, inventory's fluctuated, you're restocked on like this gemstone. It's going to make sure then like, because now it's like a Chemonix section in Replo, this product will be first or at the top.
That's how the integration works right now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So like when you drop it in, I think there's like a specific widget ID or something like that. I don't remember the exact installation, but that is how it works currently. It's like you just drop it where you need it and it functions however you've defined it in Chemonix.
Yeah, in terms of the definition that you mentioned, you can, like I said, combine personalization. Also to your question, Michael, combine personalization with other metrics, build it really however you want in terms of 2 slots like this or 1 slot like that, and then put it in Replo.
Okay, it's working now as a widget we're going to embed in Replo or a Replo component already.
It's not I don't think it's a native Replo component yet. I think we're trying to put that, but yeah, you can just, it's like the same way you would use any custom code block. It's pretty straightforward. We've got document. If you go to the doc site, you'll see it on the doc. It's actually links to the Chemonix website for all the documentation.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we can use that then. That's really
yeah.
good.
You can always hit me in Slack too if you run into any issues. We'll get you taken care of.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
All right, Michael. Anything else about that before we move on to Alexander?
I had a question for you, actually, Daniel. Quick question. Because I know we're talking a bit about like kind of what's trending a little bit, and like what's the buzz. I'm wondering like from specific merchants, because I know like you probably see like that merchants tend to like shift towards certain trends and like use certain features on your app. What is like probably the most like what are merchants trending towards right now? Like what is like something that's achieving a lot of success?
It depends on which type of brand. Like we see that so you have also variants.
Yeah, we have like over 2,000 SKUs. So
within the product you have variants.
Yeah.
So for example, many of the brands that have variants, we just launched something that allows you to choose the main variants, the best-selling variants within product and then calculate the ratio of how many variants are in stock out of those variants. Seeing a lot of people interested in that, and really seeing a really great uplift in conversion rate due to that.
Cool.
Yeah, just manually today, like changing every.
You cannot do it. And think about a fashion brand that needs to have like small, medium, large in stock, and then
Or ring sizes. Ring size is a great
I know.
example.
It's,
yeah, definitely. So this is like specifically with us, and in general, what I see, I think is the Shopify markets, because any of you using Shopify markets?
No,
No. Okay, so maybe at some point.
not yet, because it was also interesting. Yeah, but yeah, elaborate a little bit if you.
Yeah, so the problem is that Shopify is that, okay, Shopify Market's amazing, and they're driving everyone to start using it. But in terms of merchandising, they are not allowing to merchandise one collection differently per market. So all the markets are being merchandised in the same way, global way, based on the global data and based on the same inventory locations. So maybe in Australia now it's winter and here is summer, and I'm merchandising in the same way, and they have a different warehouse, and their US is out of stock, and then Australia is in stock, and it creates so many discrepancies and really hurting the performance of the stores. This is why we've seen so many Shopify Plus brands are complaining about this. We reached out to Shopify talking with them about this, but now we're working as we speak on a workaround to solve that, because Shopify is not really near to do that. So I think that's like markets is a big thing. And I think agentic search in general for merchandising is going to be the next big thing.
Which one? Sorry.
Like a agentic search that is like not the classic search, but a search in the experience of ChatGPT. Like when you, and this
Beautiful.
is that we're aiming on building by the end of the year. So you will have your entire screen, your entire shopping experience within the store would just now be one of the steps of the funnel, but still you will have a way of just talking to this chat, to the agentic AI, whatever you call this animal, and help them to help you, find the products. So
Yeah.
these are the things that I can say that I find like big within Chemonics and in general, things to do with merchandising.
Amazing.
interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome actually, because in general, I mean, if you compare online stores with stores like physical stores, people who come to the store, they themselves don't know what they are searching for. Then there is this customer experience, the customer service, the staff members, the merchandise, the people, the staff who then inspire. How can we do this online? That's the question, right? How can we do customer service? How can we do upsell, cross-sell in a very natural and intuitive way? And with the AI, obviously, it's great, because it's like maybe I can type in, I have an event and I'm searching for some, I don't know what, modern timeless jewelry, and then they are creating the selection for you. That's awesome.
Jasmine, I'm going to take you as a presenter for this product.
Yes, please.
Pitch right. That's
I'm
good.
so happy to do that. Oh, that's great.
Okay.
All right, cool. Alexander, you want to raise something?
Oh no, I like the ideas you guys are bouncing. It's creative.
How's the rug game going, man? What's happening in the latest of rugs?
We're doing like, I don't know if you guys are doing, we're doing like an outdoor sale now. So now I'm just really trying to ramp up on the Google ad spend, and just every week we're testing new meta creative. So it's my dad and uncles want us to push like XYZ collection, but I know we're deep into summer. I like to stay focused on the current.
And I'm actually kind of curious to know that you guys have been around for 50 years now. Congratulations. And your dad and your uncle, they have 50 plus years of just kind of intuition on how to merchandise things. Like, what are some of the things that you've noticed them doing over time on you know, like right now it's summertime. What are they prioritizing? What are they pushing? How do they prioritize?
That's a good question, and it's something that's I've had frustrations because I'm deep into the analytics. Like we have like on the B2B side for Momenti, there's all types of customers. So like we have like our big box in the US, like Home Goods, Pottery Barn, and then you know for those kind of shops, like especially like Nebraska for Furniture Mart, and like a lot of these shops, you know, our margins will go as low as like even down to like 10-15%. And Home Goods will come and you know there's a collection we want to get rid of. They're like, I'll take 1,000 rugs, but you're making no money. Versus like our account managers on Pottery Barn, you know, she can sell that same rug for 45% margin or more. But that rug is you're going to sell maybe like 20 a week, you know, or you might sell like maybe like 50 a week. So like my thinking is like I'd rather sell it on Pottery Barn because even though it takes longer, but you're getting way more margin. And then it's also with our timetables, you know, paying suppliers, paying inventory. So I'm all about selling to the e-retailers, just we get more margin, whatnot. So it's like kind of like what Daniel was saying is, you know, like our best selling rug is the cheetah rug on Amazon online, but margins are super low, but you can make it fast. And my dad's thinking, okay, like, you know, we'll get the money faster. But for me down the road, it's kind of watering things down. You're getting less and less versus like, you know, and then we have like one of our best sellers, our Charles collection, you know, some girl on Instagram, she did a story and that kind of like blew out the collection. So we sold that within a week. But then like 2 months later, I'm not going to say our factory, but some factories in India, they're now copying that same rug. So it's just like, it's such a race. And like with tariffs, with margins, and we have, you know, we sell in big box stores in America, small mom and pops in America. Then we have our e-retailers like Amazon, Wayfair, and then now I'm doing D2C. But then they also, you know, they're also old school thinking. They don't understand Meta ads, Google ads, and I'm managing that too. So they're like, you know, even though it's the most margin, they're like, but we're spending on ad. But I'm thinking like long term, even though, you know, it's all around. It's, you know, what you lose on margin, then you're spending more. But then, you know, so
You have to take into cash flow. You have to take into what's the rebuy going to be. Makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't like the big box because like, you know, you're making the least amount, and they're always complaining about price, saying, okay, you know, like you're still charging me, you know, 15% higher than the competitors. And then I was in Germany, in Frankfurt, back in Germany at the textile Heimtex market there, and I see all our big box buyers there. So I'm like, you know, they're already buying direct. So that's when I like started revamping with the website and Replo pages. Like we need to be selling direct because, you know, every year we got to go to this trade show and it's just all the suppliers there from China, India, Turkey. So
Well,
yeah,
I did an hour and 20-minute long interview at Alex's rug store in New York in December. It's on YouTube, and I didn't know how much went into rugs until I started talking to this guy, and now I'm like really into it. He knows everything about it. He'll tell you every little bit of it. But I appreciate you sharing, man.
yeah, it's a lot to it. And now Laura and Jasmine, I don't know if you've been, but Frankfurt every January there's a big like textile market there. It's a pretty good show for the textile.
No, never been there. Frankfurt is not my favorite city in the world. But yeah, been there a couple of times, but yeah, no, never.
I'm going to be there in July. What should I avoid? Should I just completely skip Frankfurt?
The whole
Go to Amsterdam.
I was there in Amsterdam. I had the worst hangover of my life in Amsterdam last August. I was coming back from Ibiza. First time I'd ever been to Europe. Went to Ibiza. And I'm just sitting there, like walking around Amsterdam, just destroyed. So I'm excited to go back and actually experience the city.
Yeah, avoid the central station in Frankfurt.
Okay.
yeah.
That should be avoided, definitely.
Understood.
But yeah.
That's the most important tip, I think, in the workshop.
Yes. Avoid Frankfurt Central Station. Understood.
All right.
Yeah, anyone else has any other question or something they wanna?
Yeah, I was wondering from your experience, let's say we play around with all these different templates for, let's say, for the main collection page, which is the shop all. From your experience, could you say that once we did a lot of A/B testing and we figured out this best performing kind of order of templates, would that usually automatically work for the other collection pages as well? Or is it really the point of figuring out the logic for every single collection page individually?
I really like the question. I think it depends on the character of the collection, because like a shop all is not the same as a collection that is a specific one for a specific gemstone, for example. If you're in jewelry, like rings are not necklaces, or so. But so it depends, but in many cases it does. Like we see, like they apply it, and like many times customers have like A/B testing from like 2 or 3 different collections with the same kind of test, and the results are pretty similar. We are seeing that, but again, it depends on the type of collection.
Yeah, my takeaway usually is like we're dealing with finite resources, most importantly our time, and we're trying to maximize the ROI of not just our time but also the money that we're putting into it. Focus on like getting one kind of hero template that has. I mean, again, this goes back to your ability to intuit, your intuition on what will be good for multiple collections, necklaces versus rings, etc. Figure out what would be kind of the broadest version of like, hey, like a collection page that's going to work. Make sure that's converting. Duplicate that template. Apply it to other offers, gemstones, product types, etc. And then if you see, and you can just start running it. And then if you notice that the performance is significantly lower than the baseline of that main one, that could be the trigger for you to go test new things. So sometimes, like, you want to run fast, you want to get some quick wins, you want to be able to scale those wins across all your products, collection pages, and offers. Find that hero template, duplicate it, and then when it starts to deteriorate, that's when I would start to like start running all the extra tests.
Okay, cool. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone. This was a lot of fun. I personally enjoyed it. Hopefully you did as well.
Sure.
Learned a lot about funnels also from Sanjay. So yeah, thank you very much. I'd love to get, by the way, afterwards I'll send you an email. I got your feedback on the workshop. It's really important for us because we keep crafting it and trying to make it as better as possible. And I really enjoyed, Sanjay, you're the first one we did it with, so it was a very good experience.
Thank you for having me.
So really thank you for doing this with me. And yeah, we'll hopefully be in touch, everyone.
Thank
If
you.
you have any follow-up questions to either of us, of course, shoot us.
You've got our contact information. Feel free to ask any question at any point in time. We'll take care of you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Great. All right. Thanks.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.